one of our themes is gratitude. So we'll be playing this song as our opening song all month. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. It's beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, wonderful friends. Thank you for this life, Spirit, thank you for this life. Thank you for this life, Spirit, thank you for this life. Thank you for this life, Spirit, thank you for this life. Welcome. As you can see, we're a little light in attendance today, but that is partially due to many of our contingent being down in Dallas for a prayer chaplain retreat. We're going to run a video here because they are thinking about us. So go ahead and switch to that video, Scott. They were kind enough to send us their thoughts. And they're probably praying for us too, wouldn't you think? Since it's a prayer retreat. You finding it okay, Scott? Oh, you know what? It's not on a... I wonder why it's not on the screen. We didn't test it to see if it should show up on the screen. Hold on.
Here's a little song I wrote.
Now it's the time to say hello to your neighbor, if you would. a little meet and greet. We'll get ready for our next thing. Which will be... I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited right now, right now. We are free, we are unlimited. Bill, are you on? Things that bind us, we are free, we are unlimited right now, right now. We are free, we are unlimited. There are no chains that bind us. We are free, we are unlimited right now, right now. Are you on? Okay, I was having trouble. You're on. Okay.
Good morning, good morning. I'm the acting prayer chaplain. Obviously, all of our prayer chaplains are in Dallas. And let me see if I can get this to turn on here. Well, it's not working. So, this is our Christ candle, which we use to remind us of our inner Christ light, to align ourselves with Source and to tap into that resource of our divine presence. This morning, I want to... I'm not sure. Please don't do that. Use the daily word inspiration with the word of vision. With the changes that are about to transpire here and the transition that we're going through, I want to take into the silence for a moment this statement. I hold a vision of goodness and create the life I want to live. So if you close your eyes for just a moment and reflect on those words, I hold a vision of goodness and create the life I want to live. And as we reflect on the direction of our lives, we consider the things that we want to experience and picture the results we want. We think about how we will feel when this blessing comes to pass. And we take these thoughts and feelings into prayer and feel the goodness and the happiness and the joy that comes with them. I hold a vision of peace, light, and love. Our inspired vision sees beyond any appearance of chaos or limitation. We see beauty and perfection in all that we create. We look past any seeming challenges to the completion of our desires. Fully connected to the creative power within, I hold a vision of overflowing goodness. Overflowing goodness. I see life rich with joy, love, and peace. And we know that all things are possible, and we are open to receive our good. Amen. Pardon?
Statement B.
Oh, the statement of being, if you'll join me, please. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with the perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
All right, in a moment, Reverend Colleen will lead us in a meditation. Let's prepare for that with this Karen Drucker song. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear or we fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, and when it seems I've lost my way, then I go inside and quiet my mind. I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Let's give them a round of applause for doing it.
Thank you.
I know that's not Tam's favorite thing to do, to play, but I appreciate you doing that, Tam, very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
You guys work great together. Let's take this time to prepare for meditation. And take a deep breath. Relax. Bring all of your fractured energy from getting ready and rushing around for the morning, bring it to your body. So I want you to reach out with your arms and pull that energy in and place it in your heart. Just feel the power of your own touch. When our palm touches our heart, we send enormous healing energy to it. And as we relax and let go and focus on the heart for a moment, we let our hearts fill with gratitude. I am grateful. Together, I am grateful. I am very grateful. Together, I am very grateful. And that may seem like just words, but let those words reverberate within your being and create that field of energy of gratitude. And as we let gratitude permeate our minds and our hearts, we're grateful for this church. And we muse back over what it has meant to us in our lives. And we see this church now in our mind's eye. We see it now pulsing with light. And we let go of any feeling of distance or discount or anything other than feeling gratitude. And though it may seem to be empty today in the way of numbers, we see this church now in the midst of the wintering that it has gone through, as all churches do, and cycles. And now it's being reborn into whatever vision we hold for it. Out of the winter comes the springing forth into new life. A part of the cycle of life that permeates all of us and is forever ongoing in us. And it's going on here. And so in this springing forth with new life, today we reflect on something that's near and dear to each of us, and that is how we utilize our life energy. And Father, Mother God, we now open ourselves to your word, your inspiration, your divine ideas. Let those flow through us, permeating our minds that yes, 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 life is calling me out to shine with gratitude and love. There is only love. There is only love. Love, life, and light are all the same. So we thank you in this moment of going within to the quiet place, to the innermost stillness of our hearts. And now we do that by feeling the power of the silence. Let go of any thought. Lift up your head. Focus through your third eye. And notice what you get. For me, it was just a cosmic flash of white light. And you will have your own experience. Bless it, cup your hands out as if you're blessing that momentary enlightenment. And say namaste together. Namaste once more. Namaste. And I will say it now with reverence and deep heart feeling. Namaste. And the namaste means the divine in me bows to the divine in you. And so it is. As we now come back, bringing our awareness back to this time, this place, this room, we are open and receptive, and so it is. Amen.
We got one more song. I know because I have inside information that one of the things Colleen was talking about is about having one of those eureka moments. And what do you do if you have a eureka moment, one of those moments that really mean a lot to you? Do you just keep it to yourself, or anyone? Keep it to yourself? Share it! So this song is kind of about doing that. How many people have went to their grave, ideas unshared because they were afraid? How many people have kept things inside, never share what they felt, cause it was safer to hide? How queer that fear to keep us from things we might need to hear. How sad, it's mad that we keep something from someone that might make them glad. Oh, cause a different choice to be made, because no voice was raised. 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 What if it's you? Or what if it's me? Keeping things hidden so others don't see. What if it's only some trite little fear that's keeping our voices from ringing out clear? How queer that fear to keep us from things we might need to hear. How sad, it's mad that we keep something from someone that might make them glad. Oh, cause a different choice to be made, because no voice was raised. 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 Praise all the people who made it their cause to speak from the heart. They never gave pause. You've got your list of them. I got mine too. It's more than a couple, more than a few. Heroes we call them now to this very day. We're better off now because of their way. Because they raise their voice. 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 Won't you raise your voice?
Good morning. How many of you have had a eureka moment? About half of you, right? Yeah. Now, you artists have, I know you have. That just goes without saying that you have them probably more often than most anyone else. Well, I discovered something in my meditation time this week that I'd never really thought about quite like this before. We are engineered. Literally, every human being is engineered divinely to have problems. Have you looked forward to retirement whenever there wouldn't be problems? You could just kind of do what you wanted and it would be okay. Well, guess what? We create a whole different set, don't we? And then we wonder what happened. One of the things that brought this up for me was I was dealing with a coaching client, long distance, who had lost her daughter. And the daughter was quite wealthy. She was a celebrity, but I'd never heard of her. But she'd suicided, and she said, why? Why? What? She had everything to live for. And we see that or hear it from time to time. And so I listened, and I had a decent answer for it, but I asked for more insight. And what I got was that if we don't have a problem, we'll create one. If we don't have something going on, we aren't geared for boredom. We're not geared to not have something to reach for. We have hope. Innately, we have hope within us. But our need is to braille the world for meaning. And it's why people who win the lottery a year or 18 months later really don't have it anymore. First of all, they haven't developed the consciousness for it, those who don't have it. And secondly, they haven't learned how to work with that idea of having abundance, because lack and poverty are so ground into our being. I have asked this congregation before, who would you trade lives with? Who would you trade to, if you could give your problems away and have anybody else, be somebody else, who would it be? And invariably, what I've learned from that is that we really wouldn't trade with anybody, because we know our set of problems, even though we think this is so big and so huge, I can't deal with it. But we can. If it's in our lives, there's a reason for it being there. So what I tell people is take your arms and embrace those problems, whatever they are. Children, job, health, whatever it is, embrace it. The first step in healing for me is to accept it, surrender into it. It is, whatever it is, it's our teacher. Do we agree with that? Okay. So that led me to move deeper into eureka moments, enlightened moments. And I was led back to Walter Russell. Has anybody here read Walter Russell? Oh, if you haven't, you're in for a real treat. Just go to Google and Google his name and Swannanoa and begin becoming aware of this man. Because Walter Russell was not the man who was given credit for tapping the face of God, but he tapped the secrets of the universe. And that led me to a place where I'm in grief. And it is about, I had reached a place where I really didn't want to rewind subjects like prosperity, healing, self-worth, divinity, spiritual things. I didn't want to, that juggernaut is around every week in some way, and you who are university students know it well. I wanted to reach into something deeper. And what I discovered again and again is Walter Russell wrote the book, The Secret of Light. And light has always fascinated me. From the time I was 9 years old, my prayer has been for wisdom. I didn't know what wisdom was at that age, but because Solomon prayed for wisdom and I was reading the Bible, that seemed to me like that had to be the ultimate prayer. It is still my prayer. I'm a long way from the wisdom level that I would like to say I had achieved. Not there. But Walter Russell was a man who wrote music. He wrote books. He sculpted. He did architecture. He spoke. He published everything. And he garnered a group of men around him and developed something called, what did I do with the book? The Twilight Manifesto. And it was, as he was able to reveal the secrets of the universe, he knew that there were others out there who wanted the same thing he had achieved. And he wanted like minds to get together to solve the world's problems. There are those groups that are doing that today. And what that led me back to was, and I drove off and left my talk notes at home, so I'm just talking, okay? But what that led me back to was what Walter Russell had to say about thinking. Most of us, most of the time, really aren't thinking. We're information shuffling. We're going back over what we know, what we've heard, what makes sense to us, and I call it like squirrel caging. We're looking for that niche where we can pop through and get the missing piece of information. Walter Russell pointed out the same thing that Papa Charlie pointed out in Unity. Thinking comes from the light. And so our real purpose in meditating is to become still, empty our minds, be open to the divine, be open and receptive, and be aware of what comes to us. When I ask you to go to your third eye and focus on it and just be receptive, who in this room got something? Okay, yes, it will not fail you. We turn off that option of going into the silence fairly easily. And I frankly am not that comfortable with going into the silence in meditation. I wasn't trained to lead you that way. But I understand that in the last 20, 30 years of training, they're teaching the ministers to do that. But I find it a little uncomfortable for new people. I find it uncomfortable for people who haven't developed that skill to just be in the silence, be a conduit. But let me tell you a story, what taught me. I was the youngest minister trained to ever be invited to be on the board of trustees at Unity Village. Not Unity Village, AUC, Association of Unity Churches. And then when I'd only been out of school about 4 years, I undertook to build a church in Omaha. And as we were building this church, it turned out that the ground was not solid enough to put a foundation in and build this large church. So we either had to go ahead and compact the ground and let it sit for a year, or we had to put in a 2-story. Well, we didn't have loan for a 2-story. So I had to go back and get a second mortgage and type of building loan to do that. So we did it. Got the church built. We were finishing it as we could. And then the savings and loan debacle hit. Do you remember that? And we went to close our loan, and the S&L refused to close it. We had a second mortgage that was now in default. And the first was still hanging because we didn't have final building approval yet. And that rocked through the congregation, and they got real antsy because 10 or 12 people had signed on the note for that loan. And so I'm embarrassed. I'm kind of like the new kid on the block, and I'm just moving great guns forward and yada, yada, yada. And a very long story, but it reached a place where half of the people who signed on that note left the church. The other half stayed and supported me. And we couldn't get a new loan. We couldn't get those loans pulled together, and we couldn't make the monthly payments on the 2 loans. And so I just kept focusing and kept praying and kept praying. And this thing got crazier and crazier, and then the church was growing, but everybody knew underneath that we were going through a real dark night of the soul. I wanted to give up. I wanted to I've done everything I thought I could. But with a real estate background, I kept that hope alive, and I kept listening. And when I meditate, I would see the light, just momentary light, but I knew there was a message. I just couldn't get it. Have you ever been there? Couldn't get it? So one day I'm at home, and my condominium is about a mile and a half from the church, and I just was near tears. And I left the office and said, "Hey girls, I'll be back shortly. I got to go regroup." I went home, sat down in my recliner, and I really surrendered. I said, I have to know a direction here. If we have to pull up stakes and move and relinquish this building and this property, which was facing I-430 expressway, then I need you to have the courage and space to do that. So I'm meditating, and I'm back in my recliner, and I'm just I begged, I pled, I have bargained, I've done all of that over a period of several months. I said, "Okay, God, I let go. I let go. I've exhausted everything that I know." So as I'm sitting there, the thought came, oh, why don't we buy back our own second mortgage? That's what they're doing with all these mortgages. These banks are buying them back, selling them off, and you have to know a little more about the mortgage business to maybe understand that. But I mean, I sat straight up. Okay. I had one parishioner that had told me, if you come up with a way to buy that second mortgage, we'll get it done. So I called my board president and said, "Let's meet." So we got together, and he was a CLU kind of guy, certified life underwriter. We got together. I told him what meditation had said. He said, "Why, of course." To shorten this story, we had a $365,000 outstanding debt. We paid for the land, but this was with the church. I negotiated that loan, and we bought that property. As I recall, we bought it for like $120,000, the whole thing, not just the second, the whole thing. But I had a problem. Who were we cheating? Who was losing out here? And I went back to my board, and I went back to the board at AUC and said, "Okay, we can do this, but then aren't we cheating the universe?" And the board president was with me, and the people said, "God gave you that information. Those banks are buying those loans back at 10 cents on the dollar. You're giving them about 30 cents on the dollar. They're coming out ahead." I went with it. And so that eureka moment from me taught me that when we think we have the answers, it's time to go back and go within and really delve into what we have. The scripture for today that I thought of this so often this week. It comes out of the 1 John, and it is, "This is the message we have heard from him and proclaimed to you, that God is light, and in him there is no darkness at all." Light is all there is, and that's what Walter Russell is saying in his writings, is that we aren't using our meditation time in the way that we know to do. We know that meditation reduces stress, but the real truth is meditation is the key. It is the way we can tap into the universe for whatever we need. Thinking, for most people, is information shuffling. And it truly is, because they go on to say that once you go within and still your mind, then everything is open to you. I've taught that in solo classes. We're taught that in Unity. We know about that, but it gets off to the side somewhere. Well, with respect to this church, we have been holding it in our hands lovingly for a long time. I understand this church is, 87 years old? We're standing on the shoulders of all those who've gone before us, who have been holding it. It's dynamic, it's vital. So how do we build a church with this foundation that's here? When Dave said last week, he made the comment about how fantastic those volunteers are who do the work that they're doing here now. I thought, thank you, Dave. That's what I'm talking about. Having gratitude, appreciation for what we see. I'm one, okay, how do I put this? I love a sacred, heart-touching, meditative, aha kind of experience in music and in meditation. Others of you like the pulsing music. Do you see that it all works? It's going to touch us, and I love it too. But for me, moving into that place of hearing spirit, of feeling the love, of getting back in touch with basics, is about the touchstone of my heart. You know, we're only 25% intellect, and that's where that information shuffling comes from, and we're 75% feelings. We are made up, every individual in this room, in this world, is thought and feeling. That's all there is, other than this physical encasement that we carry. And so when we give reverence and honor and allow ourselves to feel what we feel, it won't hurt you. It won't scare you. It will give you your freedom. And the freedom to just feel it and let it flow on through. Can we stand in the same water twice if you're standing in the river? No. Well, it's the same with feelings. You can't stand in that same, as you just observe it and you become an observer of those issues, of that's happening, then you let go of judgment. You become much more attuned to discernment, and you can make a way and see a way out that doesn't happen when we just continually squirrel cage with the same old, same old. I don't remember the guy's I do. Michael Rice used to live in Springfield, Missouri, and he made a statement once that I never forgot. He said, "You never learn anything from your past. Your past is your past. You've got to touch into the core light center that you are." This is where we're made in the image and likeness of God. It's not an outer thing. It's an inner thing. Your feeling tone, your reflection, your yearning to be a problem solver, and that's what we are all have. Is I would love to reach into this world right now, not just America, but this world, and extend a hand of healing, of touch, of say, it's okay, step back. Let's view this and look at what we have here together. Let's make a better world. So when we have songs like There's Only Love, Karen Drucker, it touches my core. What is love? Love is, for me, divine communion. You can't keep love. If it's love, it just radiates, it moves outward, it goes out. If love is doing this, it stagnates. Do you see what I'm saying? It has to move out from us. And so in this experience of developing this church, we want to go within and see it differently. Let go of seeing it in the ups and downs or whatever it's been through. Let that be. Let's see it not just filled to capacity, but let's see it energized. Let's see it attracting the people who are even now struggling to find some way to have meaning in their life. More people are leaving churches now than ever in the history of this country. And they're searching. The works of Walter Russell and others like him, Herbert Spencer, Charles Fillmore and Walter Russell were genuine, original thinkers. I can read 2 or 3 pages of Charles Fillmore, and I've got enough to handle the rest of the day. It doesn't take much. I mean, everything is loaded. And that's the kind of thinker I want to be. Well, who makes that happen? Me. And I was sharing with somebody else this week, and I said, it's really raising Cain about someone in her life. I said, you know, the first thing I learned in unity, first real strong thing that I learned was the only person I have the right to change is myself. I don't have the right to change a single other person. And you know, that has held me through many a storm. And it's a reminder to me that who am I? What am I doing? How am I using my tools of truth to better my life? I love my life. And for a time, I didn't love my body. Today, I love my body. It's not perfect, is it? Say no. Come on. But it is my body, and I'm grateful for it. So the first place I started when I got serious about really taking the first giant step was loving my body. And that's where we have to start. If you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody else, really? So life shows up in a great way for me. But it took me compiling all this wonderful data of unity and recognizing I have a whole library of books, but it all boils down to, what am I doing with this day? What is the gift I'm giving? What can I share that might make a difference? And I'm just loving this opportunity to be here with you and to share some tidbit of some kind that can make a difference. But no matter what the problem is in your life, no matter what it is, you have the answer. You have the answer. And I have the answer. And there's no problem here that we can't solve. And that's the way it really is. What's next?
We have a song.
Okay. Offerings later, okay.
We're going to get down. Keep going. I can dance with it, you know, while I'm doing this. We could do that. Hey, this is one of those songs where I'm going to ask you to take part in it. And the good news is, you don't even have to speak English, and you don't have to sing, because it's going to be more like a chant. So this is your part. It goes, uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Again, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. We're going to do it twice now and go into the song. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. One little boy in Africa, he put a face on AIDS. Told the story to the world till he died, and these are the words he said. Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. There's that part again. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Holy Mother from India, helping the sick and the poor. Somebody asked, why do you do these things? She said, this is what I came here for. She said, do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Here we go. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. This is a gift they gave to us to share wherever we go. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Now understand what they wanted us to know. You can do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. One last time. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. A little boy in Africa, all you can. Holy Mother from India, do all you can. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Do all you can. Do all you can. Do all you can.
And now as we take our gifts in our hands, let's affirm offertory statement together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
There is more than enough in a universe lovingly crafted. There is more than enough on a planet of sacred design. There is more than enough for humanity as was imagined. Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Your infinite love made me everything I see, all that will ever be. Your infinite love. Let my soul know the truth, whatever I choose to do. Your infinite love will prove more than enough, more than enough, more than enough.
Great.
Yeah, either one.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I just have a couple of announcements. One of the things is that WOW is going to officially change its name. Thank you to Dave Allgaier for the suggestion. We're going to be WOW and Friends. From here on out, everybody is going to be welcomed to our WOW Saturday get-togethers, which are going to happen the second Saturday of every month. And I'm happy to let you know that this coming Saturday, which is the 10th, Indy is going to do her pour-over paint for us. And you can see some of her work right over here on the wall. Her vision is that everyone takes 2 canvases home for her. So with that in mind, I'd really appreciate it if you just let me know if you're coming. I just want to make sure that we have enough so that we have enough that everyone takes 2 canvases home for that. And her and I are going to go shopping on Thursday, so if you could just let me know by Thursday. So I'm really excited about this. And on that note, we're not going to be meeting in December this year. My parents are coming in from Corpus Christi. This will be the first time that they've actually got to meet their 2 great-grandkids that live here. So we won't be meeting in December. So thank you for everybody who has supported WOW. I'm beyond grateful. I see all the food that's out there. I see all the hats that have been made for the Arkansas Children's Hospital and just everything that everyone has helped with. I'm extremely grateful. So thank you very, very much. And another thing that we're going to change is where the prayer chaplain is going to meet people. So after service, we're going to use this little suite room back here. We're going to have our own Dave Allgaier is going to make a sign that's going to say prayer chapel on it as well. So that's where the prayer chaplain, and today's prayer chaplain is Sandy. We'll be happy to meet with anybody back there in that room that would like to have some one-on-one private prayer time with her. And as usual, we have our snacks in the community room after the service. I want to thank our hospitality team, Pat Montanas, for putting that together for us. So thank you very much. And now's the time to circle up.
Circle up. Or exclamation point up.
Colleen, would you mind leading us in?
Colleen, you want to lead us in the prayer?
Yeah, I'll lead it. Okay, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. I'm going to lead the first line. You repeat it, and to see if it doesn't feel more personal to you. The light of God surrounds us.
The light of God surrounds us.
I am the light.
I am the light.
The love of God enfolds us.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love.
I am the love.
The power of God protects us.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power.
I am the power.
The presence of God watches over us.
The presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence.
I am the presence.
Wherever we are, God is.
Wherever we are, God is.
And all is well.
And all is well.
And so it is.
So it is.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin in me.